The movie opens by introducing Raghav, an intimidating Indian mafia boss known for his power and influence. Even the Indian police inspector dare not disturb him because Raghav is also skilled in martial arts and holds the title of world champion. On the flip side, Sia, an up-and-coming Indian actress, is seen filming an action scene where she fights gangsters. However, her short break are interrupted when Raghav and his men show up on set. Raghav demands payment for a debt owed by Sia's father, Karana. Unable to pay, Karana, in desperation, witnesses Raghav kidnapping Sia. Karana tries to seek help from the police, but they refuse to intervene due to Raghav's influence. Even when Karana turns to the Minister of Human Rights for assistance, his pleas are ignored as the minister is also under Raghav's control. Meanwhile, Raghav transports Sia to Thailand and hides her in a heavily guarded penthouse. Meanwhile, Karana persists in seeking help. He and a friend turn to the ambassador, but they find no assistance as the case falls under Interpol's jurisdiction. Desperate, Karana suddenly recalls Rani, someone that undoubtedly could resolve the situation. Rani is India's most formidable and respected martial arts master, renowned for his unbeaten record in combat. However, he currently resides in the hospital, caring for his foster brother, Subbu, who suffers from a rare vocal cord disorder requiring costly surgery. Despite living frugally, Rani lacks the funds for Subbu's treatment. While contemplating this financial challenge, Rani is approached by Karana's friend, who offers him 530,000 rupees to rescue Sia. Unexpectedly, Sia happens to be Rani's ex-girlfriend, initially leading him to decline the offer. However, Rani still harbors feelings for her and needs the money for Subbu's surgery. Reluctantly, he agrees to the task. Shortly after, Rani sets off for Thailand, determined to locate Raghav and save Sia. Rani reminisced about an encounter 3 years ago. At that time, he met Sia on a train when she wasn't yet a famous actress. As Sia moved to another compartment, Rani noticed her talking to herself when the rain unexpectedly stopped. Despite feeling embarrassed, Sia loved the rain. Rani chuckled at her, making Sia blush and sit back. Sia was traveling with her parents, and she resembled her mother more, as her father was overly eccentric and fond of gambling. When the train broke down, Rani continued teasing Sia, and their chemistry blossomed quickly. Eventually, they danced in the pouring rain intimately, catching the attention of Raghav, who approached Sia. However, Sia did not respond because she was dancing with Rani. When they were about to board the train again, Sia suddenly disappeared, so Rani immediately searched for her around the station, even though her father was already on the train. At the same time, the train departed before Rani returned, so Rani had to reluctantly part with the woman he liked. That evening, Raghav was having dinner with his father, who turned out to be a martial arts expert named Guru Swami. The next day, Rani visited Guru Swami's martial arts school in Kerala. When he got there, Rani was really impressed by the training going on. But he wasn't just there to check out the place, but to deliver a letter from his late dad, who was a good friend of Guru Swami's. In the letter, Rani's dad asked Guru Swami to train Rani to be a better fighter in person, because Rani tended to use his martial arts skills for fighting and acted all proud, especially in front of Guru Swami's students. Guru Swami saw this and told Rani off, but Rani wouldn't listen. So, Guru Swami slammed Rani's body with one hand and embarrassed him in front of everyone. That got Rani to quiet down and follow the rules at the martial arts school. Even though Rani's dad was commander of the Indian Special Forces and had spoiled him with money, Rani had to live simply in the dorms. Around the same time, there was a boat race at the district level, and Raghav and his henchmen enthusiastically participated. Sia happened to be there watching, so Raghav raced even harder to impress her. But when he won, she just walked away. Later on, Sia actually ran into Rani, who was working as a porter in the market to earn money. Their second encounter happened during heavy rain, making it feel like the universe was blessing their relationship with romance. They both then promised to meet every time it rained. That night, Raghav trained hard in martial arts, sparring with a deadly Indian sword called a urumi. But his focus broke when he thought of Sia's face, and he got slashed on his chest, causing him to lose control on his opponent, but he was stopped by Guru Swami before he could hurt anyone. Meanwhile, Ronnie was having dinner with Subbu and a friend, talking about women when Karana joined them. Karana then gave Ronnie advice on how to approach women, as he used to be a playboy when he was young, not knowing Ronnie's connection to his daughter. The next day, Ronnie woke up late and was punished by Guru Swami, who made him work as a servant at the school. From preparing meals to harvesting fruits to ringing the time bell, unknowingly training his strength and patience. Days later, when heavy rain fell again, Sia hurried to meet Ronnie as promised. Despite Raghav's unexpected arrival, Sia still went to meet Ronnie. Raghav approached Karana, expressing his desire to marry Sia, but Karana refused until she achieved her dream of becoming an actress. Hearing this, Raghav immediately gave Karana 400,000 rupees, so he would accept his proposal. On the flip side, Sia had climbed up a lighthouse to meet Ronnie, but she got really upset when she found him missing at the top, even though he had been there earlier. When Ronnie finally showed up, Sia's anger melted away, and they decided to officially start dating. From then on, their relationship blossomed, and they enjoyed going on dates around the city. Sia even gave Ronnie a ring from her dad, showing how much she trusted him. Not long after, Ronnie came back to the dorm drunk after a night of drinking with Sia. Guru Swami, waiting for him outside the martial arts school. When he saw Ronnie drunk, he was disappointed and felt guilty towards Ronnie's late father. But Ronnie got mad at Guru Swami, feeling like he was being treated differently from the other students. Not only that, Ronnie even talked about going to China to learn Shaolin martial arts. This made Guru Swami slightly angry, then explained that the roots of Shaolin martial arts originated from Indian ancestors who traveled to China. After scolding him, Guru Swami walked towards Ronnie and immediately struck him. Due to Guru Swami's blow, Ronnie immediately regained consciousness. When Ronnie tried to apologize, Guru Swami dragged him in front of a mirror. There, Guru Swami gave motivation to Ronnie, encouraging him to be strong like a lion rather than a deer always preyed upon. As Ronnie absorbed these words, Guru Swami attacked him, but Ronnie managed to defend himself, realizing that he had been training all along through everyday tasks like cooking and working as a porter. Since that night, Ronnie apologized to Guru Swami for not respecting him before. He promised to serve Guru Swami and follow all the training at the martial arts school. Thanks to his rigorous training, Ronnie began to master all the techniques taught by Guru Swami. Raghav also praised Ronnie's skills and offered to take him to Thailand for a world-level Muay Thai tournament. A few days later, Ronnie went on another date with Sia. That's when he discovered she was Karana's daughter. When Karana saw the ring on Ronnie's finger, he got angry and told Ronnie to stay away from Sia. Karana then went to the martial arts school to tell Raghav that Ronnie had taken Sia. Raghav was furious and even wanted to harm Ronnie, but Guru Swami overheard and was disappointed in Raghav's intentions, because Guru Swami was never taught Raghav to be evil. Seeing his father's anger, Raghav invited him to lunch and apologized for his earlier words. However, Raghav was only pretending to be good in front of Guru Swami, as he had poisoned his father's food. After killing his own father, Raghav continued his sinister plot. He ordered his henchmen to snatch Subbu. Not long after, they approached Ronnie and Subbu while they were playing in the market. Ronnie, sensing danger, quickly whisked Subbu away, but the henchmen managed to grab Subbu. In a horrific turn, they tossed Subbu around like a ball, causing him to hit the car. This enraged Ronnie, who saw Subbu as a brother. He unleashed his fury upon Raghav's henchmen, but the henchmen threatened to drop Subbu from a building if Ronnie moved closer. Ronnie, however, outsmarted them, rescuing Subbu. Yet, Raghav sent more henchmen to confront Ronnie. Unfazed, Ronnie faced them bravely, defeating each one despite being outnumbered. When Ronnie was about to kill one of Raghav's henchmen, Subbu suddenly stopped him, not wanting to see Ronnie kill like a criminal. Ronnie immediately abandoned his intention. Shortly after, Raghav suddenly appeared and launched an attack on Ronnie. Raghav, having been trained in martial arts since childhood, easily overpowered Ronnie. Desperate, Ronnie fled to a gas station, threatening to blow it up unless he got answers about Subu's kidnapping. Raghav revealed it was just a threat to prevent Ronnie from underestimating his power and keep Ronnie away from Sia. Despite this, Ronnie vowed not to let Raghav get away with it. The following day, all the students at the martial arts school, including Ronnie, attended Guru Swami's funeral. Raghav and his men, pretending to be calm, also showed up. Ronnie felt devastated as Guru Swami had been like a father to him, and he had become a skilled fighter under his guidance. After the ceremony, police arrived to arrest Ronnie for the fight previous day. On the way to the station, Ronnie crossed paths with Raghav's car and was shocked to see Sia's father inside. The next day, Ronnie was released from the police station because there wasn't enough evidence against him. However, he was told to leave the city. Before departing, Ronnie met Sia and revealed that her father had conspired with Raghav to break them up. Sia found it hard to believe as her father had always been loving and caring towards her. Understanding her disbelief, Ronnie asked her to meet him at the station if she truly loved him. Sia, devastated, confided in her mother and grandmother about the situation. Meanwhile, Karana, influenced by Raghav's money, purposefully injured himself. He then falsely accused Ronnie of assaulting him and claimed that Ronnie had thrown Sia's ring at him. This deeply disappointed Sia, and she urged her father to move to another city to pursue her dream of becoming an actress and to forget about Ronnie. Meanwhile, Ronnie waited for Sia at the train station, but because of Karana's lies, he had to accept that Sia no longer cared for him. Eventually, Ronnie had to leave the city along with Sabu. Back to the present, Ronnie had just arrived in Bangkok. Meanwhile, Sia was furious, throwing away expensive gifts given by Raghav. Seeing this, Raghav tried to calm her, expressing his love, but Sia rejected him and suggested he read the Ramayana story, where Rama defeats Ravana to save Sita. She likened Raghav to Ravana and Ronnie to Rama. At the same time, Ronnie hailed a taxi to head to one of Raghav's underground fighting clubs outside Bangkok. Interestingly, the driver was a blind man named Harry, with his brother-in-law, Suki, guiding him. When they arrived, Ronnie invited Harry and Suki to join him in betting at the club, confident in his victory. Without wasting any time, he quickly challenged the undefeated champion. Everyone was astonished by Ronnie's strength, as he defeated the champion with just one kick. Meanwhile, one of Raghav's henchmen informed him of Ronnie's whereabouts. The following day, Raghav's henchmen raided Ronnie's inn, but Ronnie was ready for them, having staged the fight the previous night to lure them out. He sent Harry and Suki away and led the henchmen to a larger area. Skilled in both hand-to-hand combat and parkour, Ronnie managed to outmaneuver them. Meanwhile, Harry and Suki were caught and beaten up, but Ronnie arrived in time to rescue them. After defeating the henchmen, Ronnie demanded to know the whereabouts of Biju, Raghav's right-hand man. Upon learning, he rushed to Biju's location and pointed a gun at Biju to extract information about Raghav's headquarters, heavily guarded and inhabited by gangsters and street fighters. Meanwhile, Sia was held captive on the 10th floor, Raghav's penthouse. On the other hand, Sia tried to canoe, but she was struck by one of the guards there. Raghav panicked immensely, immediately calling Biju and instructing him to call an ambulance and come to the hospital. Their conversation was clearly heard by Ronnie, so he forced Biju to reveal the location of the hospital. If Biju refused, Ronnie wouldn't hesitate to kill his wife. Before long, Ronnie reached the hospital following the information provided by Biju. Accompanied by Harry and Suki, Ronnie wasted no time and disguised himself as a doctor to avoid detection by Raghav's henchmen. Eventually, he found Sia. However, Raghav received a report of a captive henchman and realized Ronnie was involved. He rushed to Sia's room with his men. Despite being cornered, Ronnie managed to trick Raghav by pretending to kidnap Sia, knowing Raghav wouldn't harm her. After successfully fleeing the hospital, Ronnie bid farewell to Harry and Suki, who had helped him all along. As a token of gratitude, Sia gave them an expensive necklace from Raghav so Harry and Suki could sell it and buy a new car. During the journey, Ronnie and Sia remained silent, unable to resolve the misunderstanding from 3 years ago. They could only reflect on the past, uncertain if they would ever have a chance to reconcile. Not long after, they reached their hiding spot, but ended up arguing over past issues. However, a sudden heavy rain felt like a sign from the universe for them to make amends. Ronnie understood and shielded Sia from the rain. During this, Sia noticed the ring on Ronnie's finger, realizing her dad had lied to her while Ronnie remained faithful. With this misunderstanding cleared, they forgave each other, restoring their relationship. They decided to live peacefully in the outskirts of Thailand temporarily. But while walking by the seaside, Ronnie was ambushed by Raghav's henchmen. After a brutal beating, Raghav ordered Biju to finish Ronnie off and took Sia back to his penthouse, proposing to her. However, Sia believed Ronnie would come to rescue her during the heavy rain. Raghav laughed it off, claiming he had seen Ronnie drown. Unexpectedly, Sia's words turned out to be true, as Ronnie was already standing in front of the penthouse. Ronnie then ascended to the second floor, swiftly dispatching Raghav's henchmen who obstructed his path. Fueled by rage, Ronnie showed no mercy this time, shocking Raghav when he witnessed Ronnie's brutality through CCTV. Raghav realized Biju had betrayed him by aiding Ronnie. Biju confessed that he had intentionally given Ronnie an empty gun as revenge for sparing his wife's life when asked about the hospital's location. Enraged, Raghav then killed Biju. Raghav then announced through the speaker system about an intruder in the building, offering a reward for whoever could eliminate Ronnie. The building's residents surrounded Ronnie in a corridor, but he swiftly defeated them all. Despite facing a formidable wrestler on the 8th floor, Ronnie used the building's environment to his advantage and emerged victorious. Raghav, furious, sent his strongest henchman to stop Ronnie from reaching the 10th floor. Coincidentally, the henchman, fueled by vengeance for his brother's death at Ronnie's hands, put up a fierce fight, but ultimately succumbed to Ronnie's brutality. When Ronnie attempted to rescue Sia, Raghav blocked his path and overpowered him. Raghav admitted to killing Guru Swami to operate freely in his criminal activities. This revelation fueled Ronnie's determination for revenge. He unleashed Guru Swami's ultimate technique, terrifying Raghav, and ultimately killing Raghav. In the aftermath, Ronnie and Sia returned to India, starting a new life together. Ronnie also returned to the martial arts school as a teacher, inspiring future fighters who wanted to become great fighters like him. Moral lesson from the story: when life throws a problem at you, it is better to dance it off in the rain like Ronnie and Sia, and don't try to fight it off like Reggae, or you will be frightened by the enemy's special moves.